All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Orkakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. You know, this is this video is probably going to be called a war on manhood, a war on testosterone. Um, and it's carnal and, psychological, and I came across, I was researching like how much, uh, uh, like testosterone, like really plays a key role in your life. And, before I get into it, I want to bring out some precepts and keep in mind, these precepts as you watch this. I'm going to start by reading Numbers 23 and 23. It says, "Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what hath the Most High wrath wrought?" Because hey, keep in mind that, although we're, under, persecution, around everything, it's going to show in the video like how much stuff is like, basically poisoning you slowly, and making you a bitch. But, keep in mind, we have the spirit of Yahweh Shai on us. And, at the end of the day, this isn't going to keep you out of the faith, And also this scripture, 2 Corinthians 4 and 9, it says persecuted, but not forsaken. Let me start up a bit. 2 Corinthians 4, I'll start at 6. "For the Most High, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of the Most High Yahweh in the face of Yahweh Shai. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of the Most High, and not of us." So the reason, well, I'll keep reading it. It says, "We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body of the dying of the Lord Yahweh Shai, that the life also of Yahweh Shai might be made manifest in our body." So, we're in these earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of the Most High and not of us. So, us being surrounded by, all this, vexation and, persecution, it's to show that the power of the Most High can deliver us out of, this environment. All right. So yeah, we're troubled on every side, but we're not in distress. All right. We're this matrix system is designed to, uh, uh, beat you down and keep you down, but it's to show that the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai is more powerful than any of the witchcraft or enchantments uh, that Esau can put on us. But without further ado, this guy, this Jake, he brought out some information. I was like, fuck, man, like this is crazy. Like I know brothers have watched that documentary, The Devil We Know, about that chemical. I forget what the chemical was called, but it was in that spray shit, and it basically gave, it became part of the water supply and was, giving people cancer and like weird diseases. Well, he breaks down like a lot more chemicals that are in water supply, and all of it is to lower your testosterone, and it's crazy.
Hey, if you're wondering why your testosterone levels are low and it's hard to get that fixed, and what that has to do with the end of the world, then stay tuned, because my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and for the last 20 years I've been a sexual performance coach with African Fly, the liquid aphrodisiac, the craziest thing that I've come across. Specifically, what I'm going to talk about today are the household items that you're using that are actually burning your testosterone, is causing a bunch of problems, and how that's leading to issues with the next generations of boys and young men coming up. As always, I'm going to give you some solutions, and as a bonus, I'm going to give you a free app that you can use to help with this problem. And also, I will be doing a webinar on testosterone coming soon because this is a big deal. It is a problem and we need to address it head on. And as always, if you like what you hear, go ahead, hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and what I'm going to do is break this down till it cannot be broken anymore. All right, let's talk about testosterone. And most of the time, when we're talking about testosterone, we're only thinking about sex and muscles. And yes, those are important, but we're also talking about with testosterone, bone density, memory, mood, energy level, the ability to lead, the ability to protect because we have the muscles and we think differently than women in terms of what we need to do.
Yeah, testosterone is actually, proven in case studies that you know it's a needed hormone to be a better leader. Matter of fact, I have one of the uh, experiments in this video, and I'll try to remember to leave the link both videos in the description because there's a lot of good information about this. Um, and this is a long video, so I'm not going to play all of it. I'm probably not going to play all of the other one, but yeah, check this out.
Final thing before we move on to physical effects is that it might have seemed odd that irritability was actually heightened in low testosterone men. You'd think aggression would be instead increasing with high levels. This was investigated by researchers in a recent study where half the participants.
Yeah, because this society, you hear it like all the time, toxic masculinity. Hey man, don't listen to that bullshit because really all those vain ideologies are meant to vex you, and the more you allow it to irritate you, the lower your testosterone actually gets. So your testosterone levels can lower if you start getting acting more emotional. But if you just brush it off and you're confident about like, no, my masculinity isn't toxic, then you're you're fine.
Were administered testosterone to artificially raise their levels. They had the subjects participate in a game that required two players to split a sum of money. Depending how the subjects felt about the offer they were given, they had the option to either reward or punish the other player. They found the testosterone group dished out significantly harsher punishments in response to small offers which they perceived as unfair. And yet, they also behaved more generously with their rewards. When they felt an offer they were given was fair, they tended to actually gift more money to the other player. So rather than increasing general aggression indiscriminately, it appears added aggression is mostly saved for situations that mimic social threats and dominance challenges. Because human interactions are complex, status may be equally obtained by non-aggressive, even pro-social means, such as generosity, explaining why research shows testosterone increases multiple pro-social behaviors, including cooperation, fairness, and reciprocity. When you really step back and look at these qualities, they don't sound like the personality traits of some overly dominant bully. Instead, these sound like the personality traits of a good leader. I have to say, looking at this wide range of mental benefits, trying to optimize levels really does start to seem like a smart idea.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to grab. But you're told, in this, feminized, extremely feminized society that your masculinity is bad, that aggression is bad. But there's been studies after studies that if you have high testosterone, you're actually more generous to people that benefit you. Because they're also more confident in making back whatever. Yeah, they're more confident and more motivated to make whatever money back that they give. Whereas the low testosterone group, they weren't as generous because they're like, well, it's even, stay even, and they weren't likely to dish out punishments either. But the high testosterone group, they dished out punishments that were worthy of punishment, which is a sign of a good leader. Iron sharpeneth iron. It's healthy, man, and women are drawn to it too. It's all around great. But I'm gonna get back to this video, and he breaks it down like how this everything is like fucking your testosterone levels. But
I mean, this men came up with that skyscraper thought, and actually flying to the moon. I mean, that's what we do when if we're losing our testosterone, that all becomes a problem. And it's especially an issue when we're talking about reproduction. Now, the great news is that you can do some things with your lifestyle to make changes. The bad news is that's not really enough. We have to do more. And right now, I mean, I'm talking to guys of all ages, 86 to 16. The problem is I'm talking to more 16-year-olds, 17, 18, who are having problems that a 50-year-old should have. There was one study that was put out that showed out of 1,700 men over a 15-year period, testosterone levels had dropped by 22%, free testosterone had dropped by 45%. And basically what that's saying is that if you're 50 now, 15 years ago, if you were 50, you'd have 22% more testosterone. That's how insane this is. There's also been a 59% decline in sperm count. It is also said within 30 years around the world, men will become sterile. Let's go ahead and talk about.
So that's crazy. Like, if you were to take, 50-year-olds from right now to 50-year-olds 15 years ago, like 22%, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a huge difference, which shows that, hey, Americans are, men are being feminized, And then he said in 30 years, like, you'll become sterile. Like, all men will be sterile at a young age. That's terrible, man. This devil's got to go. But, like I said, keep those scriptures in mind. Like, we're cast down. This is ultimately to, rely our faith on Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Matter of fact, those that trust in the Lord will renew their strength. Let me get the chapter. Isaiah 40 and 30. I'll start at 29. It says, He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. Hey, and through these studies, man, like, dude, young men are finished, man. There's no hope to... There's no hope, man. But, the only hope that we do have is in Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai. Verse 31, but they that wait upon the Lord, Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And that's ultimately talking about the new bodies that we're going to inherit, and once we're delivered out of this fucking hellhole, man. Because this is this is hell, man. But, hey, the Bible prophesies about how women shall surpass a man. Jeremiah 31 and 22, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man, and all this radical feminist movement where, shit, I mean, look around, man. You got a bunch of simps, OnlyFans and all this shit, man. Men are persecuted, throughout the ass, man. Out the ass.
Endocrine disruptors, which are the issue that we're having. And basically, there are toxins that mess with the normal function of your hormonal system. And it does that in 4 different ways. One, it acts like the hormone and causes different problems by triggering different responses in your body. It affects how the cells respond to the hormone. It can block the hormone from doing its job in the first place, and it it can also stop the production of the hormones. So these endocrine disruptors are a big deal, and they are everywhere. We're talking about all the way from pharmaceuticals and IV tubes to furniture and clothing and much more. There are hundreds of known endocrine disruptors that are being put out by the chemical industries in the United States and around the world. But the problem is there's over 3,000 chemicals that are being put out every year, and 90% of them have not been tested. So let's go over those endocrine disruptors. The first one being atrazine. It's the second largest weed killing chemical in the United States. And because you put it on the ground, it gets into the water, gets into our lakes, gets into our drinking water. It has been banned in Europe since 2004. Of course, in the good old US of A, it's still here. This chemical can turn male frogs into female frogs. That's how powerful it is. And when I say female frogs, they can lay eggs and everything. BPA, we've talked about this before. BPA is in water bottles, baby bottles, all types of plastic, the lining of the food cans, even the thermal receipts. So when you making that purchase, they want to hand you that receipt. Let it go because it can go through your skin and into your system. And the crazy thing is that 93% of us have BPA in our urine. Now, birth control pills taken by hundreds of millions of women around the world, when they urine, it goes into our water system, and our water system does not filter out the estradiol that's in there, and so we end up with issues, especially you talking about birth control for women, where it's going to cause fertility issues for men too, because it affects your sperm count. Phthalates are everywhere. We're talking about perfumes, colognes, plastic toys, detergents, shampoos, soap, deodorant, shower curtains. It's freaking everywhere, and this affects your reproduction systems, your fertility, and can cause some cancers. Now, here's one of the craziest endocrine disruptor that just about everybody uses: milk. Milk it's a liquid that comes from a huge female that was fed corn, which is not great for your testosterone. And also, the corn was sprayed with pesticides, which is not good for your testosterone. And then you get the milk and you put it into a plastic container, which is not good for your testosterone. So if you have
So yeah, man, and you remember Esau's whole campaign about milk, man, like throughout the 90s and 2000s, every magazine poster throughout the school is got milk. It wasn't advertising any certain company, it was just subliminal message to drink milk. And that shit was designed to feminize men, man. You know? that's why, you have these little kids with bitch tits already. It's like, damn, like, fuck it, like, especially with, all this, social media, and video game generation. Kids aren't playing outside. They're not running around sweating. But when I was growing up, I feel like I was like the last generation to play outside. I actually saw like when, once the PS3 came out and like the Xbox 360 came out, that's when people started like, playing, like they stopped playing outside as much. And then like, is like no more. And like I saw it happen growing up. It was like, we were like the same kids that I used to, bike around the neighborhood with. They slowly started, coming outside less because that technology had them hooked. Not engaging in exercise, man, which is another key thing to boost testosterone. And but hey, man, our manhood is at war, man. Like it's it's under attack left and right. Like you said, it's in everything. Every little plastic container, shower curtains, anything rubber and plastic. Like it's no good, man.
Have a son, a nephew, or grandson drinking some milk, feel free to get a running start and smack it out of their hands because it's not good for them. All right.
Hey, but almond milk, that's good. Coconut milk, that's healthier alternatives. But yeah, you drinking. Hey, milk is for kids.
The microwave. Really quick story. Years ago, working in the IT world, a guy, he just started missing days, started missing weeks. It was like 2 weeks. He had to come back to work because, he didn't have any more sick time. And the doctors could not figure out what was wrong with this guy. Come to find out, after I did some talking with him, I was like, hey, are you still cooking everything in the microwave? And he was doing that because his mother would cook everything, so he didn't know how to cook himself, and he cooked everything in the microwave. The microwave.
Yeah, and that's another thing, man. The microwave generation, it's radiation, and then also the 5G on top of it. He talks about like, hey, don't sleep next to your cell phone. Turn your Wi-Fi router off at night. You shouldn't be sleeping next to those shits. Don't have your laptop on your lap because that's like microwaving your nuts right there. Um, but yeah, it's all these things. But here's the thing, too, is there's a bunch of information out there that how certain stuff is bad for testosterone. But I got some herbs and vitamins. Any men's multivitamin, that's good. Because another thing too is he was talking about how um, like all the plants are sprayed with pesticides. So hey, they're like, even if you eat leafy greens, you're still not getting the magnesium and zinc and iron and minerals, which are salts called in the Bible. A lot of people think when you think of salt, you think of just sodium chloride, but real salt has all those other minerals in it. Not just that sodium chloride table salt that's made in a lab. It's missing those essential minerals. But yeah, of multivitamins, you gotta have it because you don't get it in your fruits and vegetables like you used to. Um, Magnesium, essential, zinc, these things are key. Uh, Vitamin D, if you take these three, hey, this is really good for your testosterone. And I'm young, like I'm 21, and I still feel like um, my testosterone isn't high, and I'm working out, eating relatively healthy. I might eat I might have a cheat meal every now and then, but yeah, like I still feel like I'm a little bitch sometimes. I don't have that motivation, and I hear the same thing with brothers, and I think 5G has has really been a main factor in this, especially in this depressing ass. You turn on the news and social media. Hey man, those shits are designed to a vex you and make you depressed and anxious. And that's part of Esau's witchcraft. Matter of fact, let me get this. This is Ephesians 6:12. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." So you got to battle that. You got to know when to knock the dust from off your feet with certain ideologies. You can't just listen to everything. You got to stay in the spirit, man. Because it is detrimental to your mental health. And constantly listen to vexing music. Talking about adultery, like everything, man. We're perplexed on everything. You can't watch certain shows because it's so off, man. But yeah, magnesium and zinc and vitamin D. These are essential to naturally boost your testosterone. You're supposed to get it in, your daily diet, but look, man, if you eat oranges, that's supposed to be good for vitamin D. Sunlight is supposed to be good for vitamin D, or it is good, but like I said, there's GMO everything, so you're not getting the minerals and stuff. But yeah, multivitamin, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, and then some herbs too. Ashwagandha. This helps reduce stress, and as a byproduct, will boost your testosterone. Ginseng. It's very similar to like a ginger root, but it's better because ginger, since it's grown in America, you can't really trust it. I mean, ginger is still good, but ginseng is like a better version. It's more, for testosterone purposes. And I don't have it with me, but maca, MACA, that's really good for testosterone. And if you're taking, those three herbs with magnesium, zinc, vitamin D, and a good multivitamin, yeah, you'll be going, all right, and let's see, another scripture I wanted to get, Ezekiel 4:13. It says, "And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." So, it's prophesied that, hey, we're going to eat our food defiled. And when you go into how fucked up our food is, man, because he was telling the prophet Ezekiel to make, eat cows manure, like eat cow manure. And yeah, might as well. Whenever you go into, whenever you research into um, Esau's witchcraft and what he does to the food man, you might as well eat cow manure. But yeah, I just wanted to put that information out there, and again, there's no enchantment against Jake. Even though we're in this bitch ass society and constantly, forced, beaten down. The Most High gave us herbs to, keep our health up, and it starts spiritually too. It starts in the mind, like I said, Ephesians 6, or like the scriptures say, Ephesians 6:12. We wrestle against principalities in high places. You know, that's the main important, fight that we're fighting. But yeah, again, man, those herbs and supplements, very, very crucial. You'll definitely notice a difference, especially if you have a healthy lifestyle. If another thing too, I'll say this: fasting. Fasting is the best, better than any herb you can take. It puts you in that ketosis state, and you're burning fat. Your body resorts to burn fat for energy, and that's, autophagy. There's a word called autophagy whenever you fast, which is basically repairing your cells. Autophagy is the body's way of cleaning out damaged cells in order to regenerate newer, healthier cells. Yeah, so, and that happens whenever you fast. It gets rid of whatever, really, diseases, man. Fight, like it says, uh, uh, cancer, benefits. It fights cancer, and fasting is like the best drug. Fasting is a hell of a drug. Better than any herbs you can take. Fasting, boosts your testosterone more than any herbs you can take, and you can uh, work out while you fast. That's another common myth, is like people think that you get weaker whenever you fast, but if you have enough fat stored up in your body, it doesn't matter, because your body's using that fat to as energy. You can go through whatever, and that's how people shred really quickly. They just drink water. They might take, yeah, you can do that too. You can water fast and take, your magnesium, zinc, vitamins, and, a little bit of herbs here and there. And, but don't have like whole meals, like fiber and stuff. You're just getting your electrolytes in with your water. You can shred fat quick when you do that. And also, those are carnal benefits, but also spiritually, you're more clear minded. You got more focus. Your memory is improved. You're more like straight thinking. It's like you're in a different zone. If you've ever, been in a zone like in pool, they call it being in the pocket, where everything you're hitting is going in, and it's like second nature. Like, you don't even have to think about it anymore. You're just lining up, your shots go in. Or like, if you've if you ever played video games like Call of Duty, this has happened. Like if you, constantly play, it's like you know where everybody's at and you're just killing people left and right and like you never die. Or if you do die, like you know how you end up with a crazy high KD ratio. It's like being in the zone. That's how you feel whenever you're in that fasted state. You're not worried about your next meal. You're just constantly in the spirit, man. That's the key. And I mean, the scriptures even say it's kind of, hold on. Yeah, let me get this real quick, because fasting is like the best thing you can do for any type of ailment, mental health, anything. That's how you get demons off of you. This is Matthew 17. What was it? I'll start at 19. It says, Then came the disciples and Yahushua apart and said, Why could not we cast him out? And this was talking about, a demon. And Yahushua said unto them, Because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. So constantly praying, hastening to Yahweh Shem Shai, and fasting, that keeps you in the spirit, man. Fasting is in prayer and fasting to Yahweh Shem Shai. That's how we're going to get delivered. That's how we're going to move mountains. And mountains are symbolic to governments. This government is going to collapse, and Yasharallah, Israel is going to be on top, and the kingdom to come. And the elect that are going to be saved are going to be saved because we're hastening in his coming. Constantly praying, fasting. That's how. you know, um, yeah, Lord willing, this video was edifying and uplifting, and you learned a little something. And hey, man, if you're in that, low vibration, bitch like spirit, hey, it might be because, hey, you need to fast. That's the best thing to do. Like I said, I'll say the herbs again: ashwagandha, ginseng, maca, and the supplements: magnesium, zinc, vitamin D. But I would just take, a multivitamin and maybe, extra, get vitamin D just to, extra vitamin D, because you can't overdose on vitamins. At least not that I know of. I mean, sure, like too much water is bad, but don't just be like taking gummies, vitamin gummies to the head. But you know what I mean. It's okay if you take like two, but yeah, Lord willing, this video was edifying, and again, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakudash. Again, double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Shalom.